Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those who are new, I know you can benefit. So it's well after 11 and I have 75 miles to drive up the hill, which is why I'm sitting in a very dark car. But of course I wanted to check in, and I just went to this event and there was a ton of different people there, but in my third eye, which is kind of my intuitive psychic self, I realized how many people have family issues and how broken people are in that way. So this was a super successful room of people. Like, seriously, they're in the industry in Hollywood. They're stars in, New York. They're all amazing. And some civilians, right, like myself, though I am Jules Blessed Vegan, but some civilians. But what I got story after story was just this brokenness from their core family. So even though they have children, even though they have a husband or a wife, even though they're crazy successful in their job, the different stories that I heard again and again was everything from someone who still hasn't gotten over the death of a parent, somebody who doesn't even speak with their parent or their siblings anymore for different reasons. One was a money issue. In fact, more than one was a money issue. Another one was totally, jealousy. Another one was, an affair that had transpired that they learned about. And whatever the case was, people were hurting at their deepest core. And so as the night progressed and people were telling me their stories, and that's so common for me because I just am a natural interviewer. Like, I just naturally ask questions that people suddenly reveal things that they're just like, wait, why did I tell her that? I don't even tell this to, my closest, let's say, frenemy, because it's not their friend nor their enemy. They don't even tell people that. And so I kept thinking, well, Father, what is the message here? If I'm going to share something on Jules Blessed Vegan, what is the message here? And the message was this. It was to understand for sure that, yes, we have our belly button or our core family, but fortunately, when those people do let us down, God allows us to create our own family. The problem is that people want to be affirmed, whether it's from a Hallmark card or, a fake expectation that, your family, your actual belly button family is going to affirm you and love you and be like we would expect them to be in some black and white, 1940s film. And the truth is, even though divorce and things,
Avenue toward West Roses Road.
that is the whatever it's called, the map. But I assure you, I'm not driving. I pulled over for a moment because it's gonna be way too late for me to do my video. But anyway, even those things weren't even true at the time, right? People were secretly divorced. People were secretly, having affairs. Even Ricky and Lucy, they were already divorced when they were doing some of the I Love Lucy show. It's like an image is projected and it's just in the American psyche, if you will, that things are supposed to be ideal in a family. Leave It to Beaver, even the Cosbys. Like, it sadly is not the reality for many. But what are we supposed to do about that? And I think I've shared this before. Like, tonight, people were just going, oh my gosh, your family's amazing. Your mother is so incredible. Your sister, you guys are all so vibrant, da-da-da-da-da. And it was like, that's not just an image, but we had to grow into that. I didn't speak to my mother for years. I didn't speak to my father for a few years when I was trying to find my way. And some of the issues that I put on my mother wasn't even my mother's problem. And she kind of let me know that it wasn't her problem. But as a child, I didn't feel protected because people had their hands in my pants and stuff. And it wasn't family members. It was, the families of friends. But why did they let me stay the night there? Didn't they know? That kind of thing. And no, they didn't. But I didn't feel safe. And I put some of that on my mother. So another brilliant friend said, I don't know why, but your mother's your mother by God's design, and you came through that vessel, and you're going to have to find some way to find some peace, to find some comfort. So I started initially by looking at just a couple of things that I appreciated and respected about my mother. One of them was that she was a teacher and I felt called to teach. Another one was that she was an artist and that I'm an artist. And I felt safe rejoicing in those elements of my mom. And that allowed me to respect her and be close to her in those ways. Some other things were still off topic and I didn't want her to touch on them. But it started with that. And fortunately, over the years, completely grew into me being absolutely comfortable with my mom and, being able to build a great relationship with her. And so for me, I was recommending to this one person that she dared to find one element, just one. She's still so upset her mom is going to be 100 and she's 77. And it was like, you still don't have any peace with your mother, and yet it weighs on you daily. It was so obvious. It was when she would talk about her mom, her shoulders would roll forward. She'd get kind of smaller. She's still so hurt and broken. And I said, you've got to find one thing that you can appreciate about your mother. Just one. Not for you. Your mother may never even know about it. I mean, for her, for you. And it's the same thing when we think about forgiveness. It's never for the other person. It just isn't. It's to ease our own burden. Often the people don't respond properly. She had examples from when she was 27 and 30. She's 77. We still remain broken until we dare to say, go back to the setting in which the thing happened. See who affirmed you. Because sometimes your own family in their own process on the planet will not have the ability to affirm you the way you want. They won't have the grace to love you the way you recognize. But did God give other people? I can't think of a time in my life when someone wasn't loving and supporting me appropriately, even though the one person I wanted to affirm me didn't have the ability to do it. So change that expectation. Let it go and say, who has God replaced in the moment to be that person for me? And let that be okay. Let that be enough. And if you can't pray, someone can. That's why I'm JulesBlessedVegan. Come on, instant message me on Yahoo. It's JulesBlessedVegan at Yahoo. On Gmail, JulesBlessedVegan on Gmail. Privately on Instagram, JulesBlessedVegan. I will pray for you. I will pray for that healing, and I will effectively intervene to the God of the universe, to his mother, to his son, and say, this person is broken and isn't hearing you, Lord. What can you do? I will do that. I believe in prayer. I know it's heard. And I've had so much healing and beauty in my life because I was able to not have the expectation, to know that for God, we are all firstborn. We are all children. So who cares if the mom's 100? She's living her child too, and her child is broken too, generation to generation. How are you going to change that so that you're not modeling that brokenness, so that you're not harboring that burden anymore? This other person essentially thinks they're Atlas. They were holding up the planet and so afraid that if they didn't say yes, the planet would fall. I assure you the planet will rotate tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We have to say yes to only what we can bear, because if not, it's all served with a side of resentment. Okay, I got to keep going up the hill. What do you think of all of that? Does it apply to you? Share in the comments. Can you relate to any of this? I don't know a human who can't. And that's why I made God my Father and Mary my mother and Jesus my Savior, because none of them ever let me down. Do they challenge me? Oh yes. Can my life be really hard and I'll wonder where they are? Absolutely. But it's unconditional in the acceptance and joy in my heart that I'm able to express despite the hardships of my life are all grace. All right. Love you. Comment below if you want. Like if you like. Subscribe if you haven't. And until we talk again, be blessed. Oops, I'm not even done and my nose is itching. Love you guys. Pray me home.